can, like I said, you can go 3 metro stops out of the city center and be like in the local village or whatever and go to the restaurant, but that's going to be completely in that local language. Hello and welcome to Darren's Travels. On this channel I talk about traveling the world by yourself if you're a guy, and specifically if this is your first trip overseas. Today I want to talk about how you can save money on food when you're traveling overseas. The first thing I'll mention is that there's something called a business lunch when you're in like Central Europe and Eastern Europe, things like that. And what it is basically you get the full meal that you would get at dinner at lunch, but it's like half the price essentially. And so you can save money that way by buying that dinner portion at lunch. And also in Europe, people eat lunch a lot later. And so you can try to grab your lunch at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, whatever. And that'll be kind of like your dinner. But anyway, so the business lunch is something that you can look at to save money. The second way to save money is to try to stay out of the tourist areas when you're traveling, like in the city center, things like that. Now it's easier said than done because you can, like I said, you can go 3 metro stops out of the city center and be like in the local village or whatever and go to the restaurant, but that's going to be completely in that local language, and it's going to be pretty hard for you to manage if you only speak English. So, but the further you get away from the city center and the tourist traps and tourist area, the cheaper food is going to be when you go overseas. So just keep that in mind. Well, and if you do, like I said, go out, outside the city center and you find yourself in a restaurant that's completely like authentic or whatever, use the Google Translate camera function and use that to translate the menu in English. Or you can ask them. I always ask if they have an English menu, but if they don't, then you can use the local language and then just use the the camera function on Google Translate. I talked about it in the video about the apps. Also, tipping when you're overseas. Tipping when you're at a restaurant. Every country is a little different. Some countries expect you to tip. Some countries don't expect you to tip. Presumably I always tip, and unless there's like some real good reason why not to. And then I mentioned before in the apps, the XE currency exchange will also help you how to calculate the tip in the local currency. So that's a way to do it. But yeah, each country is different. Just Google it before you go, kind of what the tipping culture is in whatever city you're going to, and then that'll help you. And then finally, you can cook for yourself. A lot of people get Airbnbs when they travel. You can go to the grocery store and buy groceries, whatever. Same thing. The groceries the food will be in the local language for the most part. But pasta is going to be pasta, meat's going to be meat, all that. But if you have any problems like trying to read labels, you can use again the camera function on Google Translate and translate the name. But again, that's another way to save money, though, is just go grocery shopping, and come back home and cook for yourself. But I don't really do that a lot. But again, that's one way to save money on food if you want to. And so I hope that helps as far as how to save a little bit of money because that's going to be one of the biggest expenses when you're traveling is what you spend on food. In this next video, I'll leave the video I talked about what are some of the best apps to have on your phone, and in that video I talk specifically in more depth about the Google Translate and the XE currency exchange app, and why they're so helpful. And so they're definitely helpful in this situation where you're trying to save money on food. So anyways, thanks for watching, and please subscribe. Talk to you later.